Welcome back. This is Hope Roski with the Wedding Show, and here I am with Kim Gould. We're transitioning here to talk a little bit about a bridal tea. But there's so much to it. When you just say bridal tea, you think, oh, it's a tea party and we just have fun, but there's planning that actually goes into it. And what I really find fascinating is that you are a certified, and this is what I love, etiquette tea instructor. So how did you go about getting a certification to be an etiquette tea instructor?
Well, actually, my interest started years ago when I lived in San Diego. I belonged to the San Diego Tea Society, and we would go all around San Diego, La Jolla, go to different tea venues. And so I just got really interested in tea and started learning. And then online, you can find anything that'll certify you eventually. So that's what I did because I just love it. I think it's so fun. And the interesting thing about etiquette is the number one rule is make people comfortable. You're not trying to show off. You're not trying to make people uncomfortable. It's the total opposite. You want people to feel comfortable. And some of the rules and little nuances and touches are just kind of fun if you know them, but you never ridicule anyone if they don't know them.
So when somebody goes to, let's say, a bridal tea, and they're not familiar with ever having to experienced it at all, what would you suggest to them? How could they maybe walk in feeling a little bit more comfortable if they don't know?
Well, there's a few really quick, really easy rules for tea etiquette. One of the main ones is when you're drinking out of your teacup and you're talking to someone, you never talk like this because it's kind of weird and you feel kind of weird. You always look in your cup. You never make eye contact when you're drinking. So that's one.
Okay, so don't make eye contact.
Don't make eye contact when you're
drinking. And then when you take this, you never want to talk into your cup.
Nope.
Don't talk into your cup.
You just
okay.
do your business and then you move on to talking. Another thing is you don't want to make noise and annoy people. So you're not stirring really loudly like that. And you don't go in a circle, oddly enough. One trick will set you apart is you know that you go from 12 to 6. You just stir straight back and forth, and you don't make any noise. And if you want to get the drips off your cup, you just go like this.
So you don't go clank, 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 clank. You know, it's not a musical instrument, right?
No. And then you set it, your spoon perpendicular with or horizontal with your cup handle.
Oh, that's
You don't really want to do this because then it's kind of in the way. You set it this way. It looks nice, and you can grab it easily.
Doesn't matter if you're lefty and you're going left-handed. You just want to just shift it around. There you go. So don't worry if you're left or right-handed because you just go that horizontal way.
Just adjust.
Okay, now one of the things that I'm interested in is what is the difference between a high tea and an afternoon tea?
Okay. This is my pet peeve.
Uh-oh.
Unfortunately, in the United States, people seem to think that saying high tea means it's fancier or more posh. The opposite is true. High tea is a meal. It's actually, the difference came in from it was served at a high table for supper, mostly for farmers that have very strong black tea that have sausages and steak pies. It was a meal. So if you say high tea and someone knows the difference, they're going to say, okay, maybe you need to be a little more educated. It's always afternoon tea, or you can call it low tea, because they had their afternoon tea at a low table. Yeah, not at a regular dining room table.
So when you want to bring out, see, we have a scone here. So if you want to bring out a scone, can you still bring out the food, can you bring it out at both, or is there a rule or not?
Well, if you like the tiered trays, and you can look on YouTube and look up afternoon tea, bridal teas, which is a great thing to do for, make it special for your bridal party. It's just a fun, nice thing to do. You can look at Tea Time Magazine. There's books. I like YouTube. I like Nicholas Fairford. And I also like the Royal Butler on YouTube.
Oh, that's great.
Yes, they do very interesting setups. Yes. And so, one more thing I wanted to mention, no pinkies out. Pinkies
really?
Down. Yes. 100%.
Gosh, I'm going to have to, because I'm a natural pinky drinker. I guess I'm going to have to super glue my pinky down or something.
How that came about is back in the day, cups didn't have handles, and so people drank tea like this because it was really hot.
Right.
And so it kind of came about. And so people kind of got an affectation. Pinkies out. No, always pinkies in. Just wrap it around like this. Anyway.
Okay, I'm learning too. One of my favorite tea places in Carefree, Arizona is called the English Rose Tea Room, and I will remember not to lift the pinky. That's for sure. So one of the things that we talk about are certain dress codes. You know, not only if you're just going to a tea, you know, with friends, but at a bridal shower, is there a certain type of dress code, especially hats, no hats, things to that effect?
My feeling is what makes you happy. If you want to have a tea and ask people to wear hats or dress up, that makes it a little more festive. In etiquette classes, I always teach when you dress up and you dress nicely, you're showing respect for the other people that need to look at you. I mean, and it doesn't take much. But I'm all about have fun with this, and if you want everyone looking like that, personally, I don't like hats at tea, but that's just me.
So when we see people with hats, that's not like
It's
a
okay.
requirement.
No, it's not a requirement.
Reason how that came about, or does it have to do with England and the Queen and the hat? I
Well,
don't know. I mean, I'm just guessing.
Yes.
Okay.
At a garden party, you would wear a hat. If you had a garden tea, which the Queen always
Aha.
has, you would wear a hat.
Right.
And different things like that. But just for an inside tea, usually you wouldn't. They're kind of cumbersome and things. But, you know, there's great hats out there, and if you want people to wear a hat, have fun. Just wear it. You know, life's too short.
Well, I was definitely curious about the whole hat
Yeah,
situation.
no rules, no
Okay.
rules for that.
So, what kind of food would be appropriate to serve at a high tea? Like you had mentioned certain types of foods. What would you suggest would be some good food?
Okay. At an afternoon tea, if you want to do a tiered tray, or did you mean high tea?
Either.
Yeah. Okay. Afternoon tea, it starts on the bottom with the sandwiches, and then it goes to the scones in the middle, and then you have sweets and cakes on the top tier. So if you're bringing them out separately, you start savory, scones, they're kind of neutral, and then the sweets.
Interesting. So then you mentioned, you know, the heavier food comes
Yes.
at the high tea.
At the high tea.
Because
That's
that's
a
the higher
supper.
table where you eat. Okay, so we
That's
have
dinner.
some pictures there. So what type of things can one expect there?
Well, this is a table I did for the Fig Garden Women's Club. We have an art and flower show. And a fun thing you can do is make it your own. What I really liked about this was I did roses for napkins. And you can look on YouTube and find out how to roll roses out of napkins, find a lot of really fun ways to fold napkins, and put your own stamp on it, make it personal, sort of tie it in, which I did sort of with colors, and find a theme, find an inspiration. Sometimes an inspiration can come from, oh, this cup has cards in it. I'm going to do that theme.
Oh.
You know, especially for a bridal shower, what's your colors? What's your theme? What do you like to do? Where's your husband and you going on your honeymoon? And you can, pull a thread through there and, have some fun. Yeah,
That sounds
yeah.
great. Now, one of the things is I love watching people pouring tea. So how do you go about pouring it the proper way?
Okay. Making it's a whole different thing, but
Okay.
it's already in here. So what you'll do is, I like loose leaf tea. You can use tea bags.
So
And you
if
can just
have
use
the
this for
loose
fun.
leaf, you use
If
yes.
you have loose leaf, this is called a tea strainer, and or if you use tea bags, you can still use this because it looks fun. So you just put it here, and here in this older set, they have what's called a waste pot, and so this would catch the dregs. And so what you do is you just pour your tea. Here's an interesting fact for tea. If your hostess asks you to pour, she will say, "Will you be mother?" Which sounds very strange. But what that means is I'm giving you the highest honor to pour tea.
Oh, okay.
Servants did not pour tea. A hostess pours tea. Yes.
Okay, I'm learning.
And then you just hold your lid, you pour it in, and it will catch the tea leaves, and you can have someone read them for you later if you want to.
Oh, how exciting. Now, see, that's something else you could add to your tea party. So give it a
then-
little shake there.
Yeah, then you just give a little shake, and don't make any noise, for heaven's sakes. And there you go.
Because you're at a tea party. Why would you make noise? Okay. And then you just enjoy, and of course, pinkies down as you do this. Are there any other things that you feel are important for viewers to know in how to conduct or to do a bridal tea party.
Well, have fun with it. Make it as elegant as you'd like. It can be very rustic. There's ones you can use for grooms with a little more rustic china. And I mean, find what your vibe is going to be and just have fun, and you can do little favors and just make it special for yourself and other people. But one thing I think is really important is to take time for yourself. My daughter's getting married in September.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
That's great.
But it can be very stressful for the bride and the family. So set a tea tray for yourself sometimes and just sit down, relax, have a little treat, have some tea, take some time, and kind of cool off a little bit.
Maybe it's good, we talk about when a bride actually gets married and like after sometimes they change their clothing and there's a little cushion time between, when they go in for the reception. Maybe that would be a good time to have like some chamomile or something to relax you a little bit, correct?
Yes, there's certain teas that will do that.
And I think that's something important to touch on. What are some of the teas that are maybe popular or the go-to teas? There's so many out there.
Right. There's Earl Grey and different teas like that. They have white tea, black tea. You kind of just have to look around and see what you like. There's Rubios, which is an herb tea. But it's very strong. It's like a black tea. And that's what I like because it doesn't really have caffeine and it's very flavorful. They have like caramel flavors and things like that. So that's what I like.
One of my favorites is bergamot.
Oh, okay. Yes.
Yeah, I like bergamot.
Yes. I'd say try some. You can buy a lot of different tea companies have sample packs and kind of go through and see what works for you because the sky's the limit.
I know, and this is, it's an inexpensive way. Tea's not very expensive, and it used to be, and it's less than coffee sometimes. And you get plenty of selection.
All this stuff.
So I thank you so much for
pleasure.
bringing, this is just a beautiful arrangement, and what a great way for your bridal shower to get a nice start. So we will be back in just a few minutes. And Kim, if anybody wanted to get in touch with you or have questions to ask, is there a way that they could reach out to you?
Yeah, my Instagram or my email is kgnextlevel
KGNextLevel
at gmail.com.
Fantastic. Alrighty, this is Hope Roski with The Wedding Show. And let me just try this right here. Okay, I'm reaching. That's inappropriate, but I'm curling my pinky.
Or you can come see me at the Fig Garden Antique sale. I will be at the table.
Oh, great. Alrighty. Cheers, y'all. We'll see you back in just a little bit.